you think that the production should have stopped it?
Reality check inside America's Next Top Model. This begins our recaps of episode 2. Now, if you couldn't tell from that clip, this is going to be a rough one, so as always, feel free to scroll if you need to. But I will point out, I'm not going to be replaying it over and over and over again like Tyra and Netflix and all the show, because I really did not think we needed to put that many clips of this. They even have clips of it in episode 3. That being said, let's get going.
I was hammered. I think I had 2 bottles of wine by myself. I just remember like little bits and pieces. I remember being in the shower and then just sitting in the shower, and then we were in the bed. I was blacked out for a lot of it. I didn't even feel happening. I just knew it was happening, and then I've passed out.
Now, right out the gate, we're going to try to use that excuse again. It was a different time. We didn't know, blah, blah, blah. So let me remind you, and if you're a younger person, you may not have heard these jokes that people used to make, but I was there. I was in the before times when the script was written, and people used to make jokes about how, oh, well, if I want to sleep with a girl at a party, now I have to have her sign a waiver and make sure that she's sober. What? Like, that is literally something someone said and framed it as a whole problem, and not just someone. A lot of people ran with that narrative. So no matter how much they're going to tell you they didn't know that when someone is under the influence, you shouldn't be doing that, they did know. Jay has come out and given other interviews saying, yeah, we all knew, and we knew when it was occurring, and they chose to keep filming because they regarded themselves as documentarians. Okay.
Next day, I woke up and was like, holy shit, what the happened last night? It all fucking hit me. It just flooded over me. I just sat there and cried.
The backstory, Shandy and a couple of the other girls had worked with some male models earlier that day. They were invited over to the apartment, and the way production made it seem was it was supposed to be kind of a bit and invite them over, and we're all hanging out and look at how fun it is to be a model, right? So they come over, and we know that the girls were shamed if they ate enough, all of this stuff. Plus, she's like a little tiny waif of a thing. Gets in a hot tub, which drinking in a hot tub, if you've been there, you've been there, and has 2 bottles of wine. She doesn't remember getting out of the hot tub. She doesn't really remember going and being in the shower. She couldn't feel anything that was going on. However, production, instead of understanding we've got this little waif of a human, we need to stop this, we need to step in, decided that they would rather make good TV than be good humans. Just to make it clear to you guys that I've seen some people's comments, you will never win with me on this. If someone is blackout, you should not be touching them. And if you see someone going after someone who's blackout, if you're someone who even kind of jives with me, you step in. You don't let that happen, even if it's 2004. You know what I'm saying? Anyway, continuing.
Do you think that the production should have stopped it? I think when, I think after getting out of the hot tub and, whatever happened after that, I think they should have fucking, been like, all right, this has gone too far. We gotta pull her out of this.
One of the many parts of this that gets me. Imagine, right? Because the axe forgets, but the tree remembers, right? This is one of the most horrible experiences of your entire life. And when the people who were filming you are asked about it, this is what they say.
You remember the story with Shandy?
I do remember her story. It's a little difficult for me to talk about production because that's not my territory.
What's even more appalling about that excuse right there is that she's actually going to go on to call herself a master editor within this same episode of the documentary, so I think that might have something to do with production. And Jay has come out and said that they got a call. They were in the studio when this was happening, and they decided not to do anything. And Ken Mock gives kind of a reason for that.
We treated Top Model as a documentary. And we told the girls that on day 1, when they would show up, we would go over the rules with them. There's going to be cameras with you 24/7, day in and day out. And they're going to cover everything, the good, the bad, and everything in between. No matter what happens, while you're on camera, we're going to document all of that.
So first of all, it's not right when documentaries do that, and it's not a documentary, it's a reality show about people modeling. Please, with the seriousness of it, and blah, 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 blah. We're not playing that anymore. Not to mention, I would like to mention 2 instances Below deck, there was someone who had had way too much to drink and they were asleep, and a man tried to get in their bunk with them. Production stopped him. Then I want to go even just within that era, Intervention. You remember that show? Whenever someone was literally in a life-threatening situation, which this kind of stuff could be, they stopped filming and even they called ambulances, and their entire show was about filming that sort of thing. But I guess if you're on Top Model, if you're in a life-endangering situation, we're treating it as a documentary. Get over yourself. Oh my God.
So the girls, they were doing their evening hanging with the guys. We were off. And then we got word Shandy's having with a guy. I was like, wait, what? And the rule on Top Model was if you went into a bathroom alone, a camera could not follow you in. But of course, when she went into the shower, she was technically not alone. So the cameras went in and they captured it. I don't know whose decision it was, but as producers do, this was a story point now, and we're going to see it all the way through.
Then, like they did with so many personal experiences on this show, they used it against her. And literally the next day, Tyra goes for like a girl talk about one time that she got cheated on. She gives horrible advice, the whole thing. But put yourself in this girl's shoes. You've had something horrible happen. They won't let you leave even though you're trying to. All this stuff, and you have one of your idols sit in your face and say this.
You okay? Cheated on me? Really? Everybody's messed up, Shandy. I'm not judging you. But I think that we have to fight against our carnal desires. I understand that people do become attracted to other people. And it's all about your relationship and how open your relationship is and how honest you can be with one another.
Now, I unfortunately, like a lot of survivors, don't have to imagine that, where they look at you and say some iteration of, well, you probably enjoyed it, you asked for it, whatever. And it's not okay. And especially to be told this by someone that you look up to so deeply. We're going to get into how they forced her to stay, her call to her boyfriend, all that stuff in the next part, which I hope to get in this part, but I've got to skedaddle. I've got my first dentist appointment in 2 years. So if that goes well, you're going to see another video from me today. If it doesn't, you won't. So I hope you guys are having a good day. It's always weird to say that at the end of these ones, and I'll see you soon.